Doug Kyed, joined here by Zack Cox. Patriots just lost 24-21 in fairly devastating fashion to the Buffalo Bills. We're giving our top takeaways from this game, sort of an instant reaction. And Zack, I'll let you start off first. There's there's a lot to take away from this game, both positive and negative. But what's just your initial thought after the Patriots are now 2-5 on the season?
My initial thought is just how close this came to really being a signature, potentially galvanizing victory for the Patriots, because there were a lot of things the Patriots did not do well in this game, but they came very close to winning this game, which would have been really a disaster for this Buffalo Bills team. If the Buffalo Bills lost to this Patriots team that had this many injuries, that played this poorly on defense for long stretches of the game, that looked totally inept on offense in the first half, it really potentially could have shifted power in the AFC East. But now, I mean, the Patriots, as you mentioned, they're 2-5, 3-4, and 2-5 probably aren't that much different, but it feels significantly different. And honestly, I think it's going to be extremely difficult for the Patriots even to compete for a wild card spot at this point. It's crazy to say that this early in the season, but this was a devastating loss for the Patriots.
Yeah, I mean, the Patriots basically can only lose one or two more games now for the rest of the season, and they're going up against some very difficult opponents as the schedule goes along. I think that this game presented the difference between having Tom Brady at quarterback and pretty much having anyone else at quarterback. And this isn't necessarily a shot at Cam Newton. I thought he wound up playing pretty decently in this game, but if Tom Brady was the Patriots quarterback on that final fourth quarter drive, that game-winning drive, I don't think anyone would have had any doubt in their mind that the Patriots would have at least come out of that with a field goal, let alone a touchdown. And that's certainly the way that things were headed for the Patriots in that final fourth quarter drive. But then Cam Newton coughed up the ball and gave the game away to the Buffalo Bills. And now this is the third time that something similar to that has happened for the Patriots this season. They had a chance to beat the Seattle Seahawks in the fourth quarter in week 2, and Cam Newton couldn't score from the 1-yard line. And then they also had a chance against the Denver Broncos earlier this season as well, and that's when Cam Newton threw the errant pass to N'Keal Harry. So it's tough to pile on Cam Newton too much in this game because, like I said, he did play better, but it is just those signature plays that have not gone right for Cam Newton now 3 times, and the Patriots are 0-3 in those final fourth quarter situations. Obviously, there were some positives to take away from this game. Jacoby Myers played well again. J.C. Jackson did pretty well against Stephon Diggs. Josh Uche, made his NFL debut and looked serviceable out there. Is there a specific silver lining for you in this game, Zach?
Yeah, the guys you mentioned, Damian Harris ran well as well. And one of the things that has to be kind of a gut punch for the Patriots is that their offense for those final 3 drives before that fumble looked better than it has in weeks. I mean, at least since the Oakland or the Las Vegas game back in week 3. I mean, those last 3 drives, they went touchdown, then drove into the red zone before that fumble, averaged 7.6 yards per play, 7.9 yards per rush. Cam Newton went 7 for 9, 73 yards. The Patriots offense was really moving and really clicking on those drives. And I think that, I mean, you can debate how worthwhile momentum is, but I think if they come down and get a touchdown and close out the game the way they did in that fourth quarter, I think that potentially has a pretty positive effect on this Patriots team. And now you see how it went the other way. The fact that they were able to put all that together and still weren't able to push it across the finish line, I think it's got to be a pretty tough pill to swallow for this Patriots team.
For sure, and there's still some glaring problems with this Patriots team. The run defense was horrific against the Bills, who came into this game 32nd in rushing offense DVOA. Patriots still having a little bit of trouble passing the ball as well, unless those targets are going to Jacoby Myers. But Patriots should be able to right the ship next week. You would think Monday night against the New York Jets, but that really just depends on which team shows up in that game and whether it's the team that we saw here in the fourth quarter or if it's the team that showed up early off in the game. But thanks for joining me, Zach, and we will talk to you guys again later this week.